Alright, I'm going to be making a brief video about how to annotate your peer edit. I'm going to be making a brief video on how to do a peer edit for a body paragraph. I showed you in class on how to annotate for the introduction, and that was going to be a peer response because we're checking the structure. And what I want you to do today is to peer edit the revised body paragraph. So you've seen this body paragraph before, you made comments, they made fixes, and now you're going to check it for something else. Now we're checking it at the sentence level to make sure it functions the way that a sentence is supposed to, the way the body paragraph is supposed to. So we're going to be going through a series of checks you're going to have to be writing on their paper. This is what the directions look like. I gave them out in class on Monday. Use them now to complete your own check. So let's dive in. So you're going to go to your website and go to your to-dos. I'll have them underneath here as well. I'll grade my final one as well. Here's my test student. Elva was asked to volunteer for this process. Thank you. So what we're going to be checking for is going right down the list, and I'm going to be going back and forth between the two images. So here we're looking for, the first thing is we're going to check the wordiness of the topic sentence. What this is, we want to make sure if it's too short, if it's not short enough, if it doesn't have an active verb. And then the second part is, does it work for the structure of the argument, meaning does it help them set up their either the first half of their thesis or the second half of the thesis for this close reading. So let's look at sorry, wrong one. Faye Greener's artificiality, instilled in her by aspiring actor father Harry Greener, shines lights on the many facades ambitious people come to Los Angeles to die and take on and share the vision of the American dream feel possible even though the odds are stacked against them. Alright, so the first thing we have here is that this needs to be made concise. Right, so the first comment is make topic made concise. It's too long, right? The second thing we're checking for, does it have an active verb? Shines a light on. That's the verb there, right? So here I'll annotate it with this. Shines. And shines is an okay verb. I'll put okay verb. But this, I'll come to California to die to ensure the vision of the American dream feels possible even when the odds are against them. That part's what needs to be shortened, right? That's the part that's too long. Sorry. Put the comment button. So what is too long? Okay. So now I've got I've commented on the topic sentence. It's got all its parts, but it's too long, so she's gonna make it shorter in the fix. The next thing I want to check for is that she has is the embedding. And what I want to see here is a freighted sentence. So I want to see stacks on the subject. You may or may not stack the verb, but then stacks on the object. So I'm going to identify I'm going to label the subject, the verb, and the object of the sentence. Then I'm going to see if there's anything that can be done to fix it if there's a problem with the check. So here it is. It says making it in a big city of dreams meant leaving behind any part of Faye that did not serve her desire to become an actress. During one of Faye's usual late night walks with Todd in her bedroom, he describes how although Faye is aware of falseness, she keeps acting with feverish tenacity because it was the only person she knew how to be. The second part here, she has two sentences. I'm going to want to make it into one sentence. In theory, having said that, she does have, so during one of Faye's usual late night talks with Todd in her bedroom, Todd describes how Faye was aware of her falseness, but kept acting with feverish tenacity because she has some stacks here already, so it's half stacked. But if it were me, I would start off with the simple sentence. In this case, Faye is the subject. So then here, the subject of the simple sentence, and I'm going to circle them and label them so the parts can. That sucked. Let's try that again. works just fine. So this is the subject, Faye, and then Faye late night talks. It actually describes as the sentence is actually kind of complicated. This is the subject. This is the verb. So Faye describes an awareness of falseness to Todd. And that's the object. That's a simple sentence. And then when she rewrites it, she can stack the appropriate parts. So what that would mean for her would be she would stack what on top of Faye. So Faye, comma, wanting to make it in a big city of dreams. Must leave behind the parts that don't serve her as an actress, and revealing this during a conversation, blah blah blah. So instead of having it here as a separate sentence, she stacks it, and realizing where each part of the sentence these things go. What is it describing? Is it describing the subject? Is it describing the verb? Is it describing the object? That's how freighting goes. Now, if for some of you this is too much, you just do your best and you let it go. The freighting is a technique of how to add complexity to your writing after you've got all the content here. And this is exactly the place where Ms. Lozada is at. She's got all the content that she needs, but she can write it better to give her writing a little bit more punch to the audience. So now I'm going to go on to the next part of the check. Now that I've checked it, she had all the details, so that was good. Right, so here I've checked this one. And it's a giant hand now. And now I've checked this one. And now I got to go on to my third check. Right? My third check is check the documentation. So here I'm going to check the quote that it has a quotation and ends in a comma with another quotation mark with the last name and the page number of its source. Okay? Let's do it. So I go back here. So now here, because it's longer than 4 lines, there aren't any quotation marks. So this is correct, because if it's 4 lines or less, it gets quotes and etc. If it doesn't have quotes, it loses them. So you still need the comma here. So we put insert comma. If I could spell comma, that'd be awesome, right? And then her author and page number. It's done. So this is a good quote. We've checked this documentation. I go back to my list. Okay, so we've just completed number 3. All right. Now we've got 4, circle the passive voice. Now for some of you this is going to be a problem, and I'll talk about it in class in more detail when we meet again. But I just want to model what it looks like for the part of view here. Here you circle any form of passive voice. I'm going to highlight it for the sake of ease, hopefully. R, passive voice. Let's change the color just for clarity's sake. Making the big city,